Howdy folks, welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be reviewing the NECA Toys Alien Resurrection Ripley 8 collectible figure. That's right, we are continuing Alien Week with more Resurrection figures. If you want to check out my latest review, which is of the Ultimate Newborn Alien, I'll try and remember to leave a link down below. But today we are going to be spending our time looking at the main protagonist herself, the clone of Ripley. Yes, not the most well-written film in the Alien franchise, but I still believe it's a classic. I ranted about this in the Newborn video, so I'm just going to shut up so we can just take a look at the figure. So the box is really nothing special. You do have a nice background of deep space, which has a lot of constellations of stars. Do have the typical Alien Resurrection font with that sliver from the original poster. Down here says Ripley 8 with a nice design from the interior of the ship from the film, and you do get a nice image of Ripley holding her basketball right there, which is actually the pose I have her in right now, or that's what it was in the thumbnail. And here she is battling another xenomorph, of which I have multiple now. And here's the back of the box. Let's take a close look at that. Here are the other figures in the wave. Let me know what you have been picking up this week for Resurrection. Here's a bio, and here is the character herself, and a diorama we'll never get. But for the bio, pause and read if you want. And here is Ripley 8. As I've said, not the most popular version of Ripley out there, but you know how it is. 1997 did happen. I do have her in a neutral pose right now, and I have the hands-on that are used with her weapons. She also does come with a pair of open palm hands to hold the basketball, which I'll get into later, but you probably saw it in the thumbnail. Giving you a 360, this is really not too bad of a figure. The sculpting is really well done. The likeness to Sigourney Weaver is pretty good. Could it have been a little bit better? Yeah, I think that's really only due to the lack of paint used for her skin. I would have appreciated if they put a little bit of dirt, maybe a bit of a glossy paint, just because, and I know this sounds weird, the Alien movies have this really weird, like, tone where everything's wet and slippery and stuff. If y'all watch the movies, you kind of know what I mean. And really, that's what Resurrection was. So it would have been cool to get a little bit of extra paint on the actual skin, but I'm not going to lose sleep over it. Again, the likeness to Sigourney Weaver could have been a bit better, but it's not like you can sit here, take a look at the figure and say that doesn't look like Sigourney Weaver. Overall, it pretty much does, and I think for a 7 or 6 inch figure that'll suffice. But anywho, let's take a closer look. Alrighty, let's take a good look at the head sculpt. You'll notice that Ripley looks a tiny bit different than her predecessors, in that she looks older. And if you revisit the 97 movie, Resurrection, she actually has a bit more wrinkles on her face, and generally she just looks older. The gap between Alien 3 and 97 was a bit of a jump. If I'm not mistaken, Alien 3 was 92 and Resurrection 97, so it's been a couple of years and she has aged. And it's definitely accurate to the film. You can tell that around the lips here and the nose, even the forehead, and a little bit on the cheeks and under the eyes, she has wrinkles, and they just sculpted her to look a little bit older. Not like a grandma or anything, but she's aged. And the eyes on mine are painted pretty gosh darn well. She's not cross-eyed, which is lovely, and she has a nice little green tint in there, if I'm not mistaken. Eyebrows are fine, painted well. The hair, right. So this is a film in which Ripley sports this slick back hair, and it's fine. I mean, it's well done. It's sculpted really well. I do like the sheen of gloss that they used for the hair, so it definitely works. I have no gripes with that. The ears are hidden under the hair, kind of hard to see. Not a ton of detail there, could have been better, but I'm not going to lose sleep over it. And again, generally this looks like her, and it'll do the job. I'm just happy that we got Resurrection figures in general. And no, I am not sucking NECA's wiener. For new subscribers, I am not sponsoring NECA. I just happen to like their figures when they don't have QC issues. And luckily this one doesn't, which is lovely. Anywho, let's take a gander at the outfit. Of course, it was the 1990s. In fact, the late 90s and the year in which I was born. And we all know that the 90s is kind of the time of shoulder pads. Thick shoulder pads, mainly in Marvel Comics and a bit in DC as well. And they're here on her as well. It almost looks like the texture of these pads and everything almost looks like snow gear or something. Let's get a better look on that. And it's sculpted really well. It looks like very squishy and meshy, and it's all wrinkled up, which is really nice. They sculpted some buttons here on the front here, just general silver, and here they're actually buttoned together, and the belt is a nice sheeny, a shine of gloss of silver, which is well done. Got her undershirt there, which actually has some stitching in it, sculpted in, which is pretty gosh darn cool. Let's take a look at the back. Again, it's well done. I like how they sculpted in all of these folds in the clothing to make it look as realistic as possible. And yeah, so these are actually on two separate pieces, by the way. This entire, I'll call it a jacket, is actually a very pliable material. You can manipulate it a little bit, so that's cool. And it just looks good in general. The color is nothing too fancy. It's brown, pretty much like everything else in Resurrection. All the brown warriors, the brown queen. And of course you got Sigourney's butt, which is a thing. And she's not too bad looking. So there you go. And again, I like how they added in all these aspects of stitching and everything. It's pretty cool looking. The arms are pretty much plain besides this little knick-knack here. And it kind of ties back to what I said. I wish they were a little bit dirty or something so that it just doesn't look like an action figure, if that makes any sense. That's just me nitpicking, but in general, it's fine. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. And generally, it just has good muscle definition. She's not exactly muscular, but she is toned, so I think it worked out well. And yes, if you remember the film, she has those creepy long black nails, and they are on the figure. Let's see if I can focus on that a bit. There they are. Yeah, they're there. They are apparent. I don't know why they added that, to tell you the truth. I think the film, it was already insane. I guess why not add it, but I don't know. Those nails were just weird. And I don't know, it didn't work. Like how I'm saying that doesn't work, but the whole cloning thing does. I wasn't a fan of the cloning thing, but what can you do? Okay, and she's got these knee pads. Again, it was the 90s, and she's ready to play some hockey. So it's a nice texture on them. They are a bit pliable as well. You do have nice sculpts in stitching. Got a little pocket right here as well. And it just looks good. Down here you get more wrinkles, kind of indicating that the boot is tightly wound around the jeans, so they would wrinkle up there. Here you do have the shoelaces. Let's see if I can get a better look at that. Got these silver buttons there. Down here, I don't know, it looks kind of weird that the shoelaces are also brown. I wish they would have done something different with that, but I don't know if it's movie accurate or what's going on. But the bottom are black. You got the peg holes here, but standing is fine for the most part. I haven't really had her topple on me too much. She fell a couple times when she was on the turntable thing, but that isn't actually flat, so she's good. Okay, let's take a gander at the articulation. It's really nothing too special. If you've had any of the Ripley figures in the past, it's pretty much the same. My only gripe as far as articulation goes is actually the head, And this can go for any Ripley, really. It's just not really movable too much. I mean, yeah, it can go right and left, and the hair is pliable enough to allow that articulation, but getting her to look up or to look down is pretty much a no-go, which is a shame. I'm wondering if the joint they're using up here is the same as the hands, and I'll show that in a bit when I go into the accessories portion of the video. But yeah, I wish there was some better articulation there. But again, I don't know why that. I don't know why they would do that, because there are other human figures, whether it's from Predator or Alien. Their head articulation is usually normal, you know. But yeah, there you go. The arms can go out pretty far, can go full 360. She does have a single jointed elbow, can go back that much, and it can actually swivel as well. The hands are on a creepy joint. Yeah, let me actually show that off. There's the joint. I don't know why they use these. I really don't like them. It limits a lot of the articulation. I mean, you can argue that they needed to do that because of the extra hands, but just take a note out of Marvel Legends or something. There's usually at least a hinge. I wouldn't have minded if there was a hinge there. Same at the neck or something, but yeah, what can you do? The waist can go all the way around, can go back that much, forward that much, and side to side. I think she can pop in half. Let's see. Yeah, that's a thing. It doesn't come off that easily. You actually have to use quite a bit of force. But don't be scared if that happens, because I was messing around with the figure and it plopped off and I freaked out, basically. Her undies or her pants are a pliable material, so she can do the splits no problem. And she does have a ball joint, so you can swivel here and go forward pretty far, actually, and back that much. She does have a single jointed knee, which can swivel, which is awesome. And the feet, which can go forward that much, back that much, and has a pretty good ankle pivot. So yeah, articulation. The head really bothers me, and so do the hands. I really wish they could have done something different with that. Considering that it's been a while since we've gotten a Ripley figure, so I would have imagined that they would have improved, but what can you do? I can live with it. Let me know your thoughts on that. I don't think it's the biggest deal in the world, but it's there, and I want to make mention of it just in case people are deciding if they should get the figure or not. So with that in mind, let's actually get into some size comparison before we go over the accessories. So for height, she stands approximately just at under 7 inches. I think that's because I have her knees bent at the moment. But you know what I've been doing recently with my reviews? I've been going all out with the size comparison, and that's what I'm going to do in this video. I'm going to show you this particular Ripley next to pretty much every single Ripley figure I own. So let's get started. Alrighty, so first up is Ripley from the very first '79 Alien film, and I also have the spacesuit version right here. We're doing an army of Ripleys today, folks. Next up, we do have some folks from Aliens. I do just have the Ripley from the first half of the film, and I do have the Ripley from the scene where she is burning down all the eggs in the Queen's lair, right here. She's got a nice gloss to the figure, dirty and stuff, so it works. And she comes with that badass weapon, the taped together rifle and the flamethrower. And I do have, let's zoom out actually, and Ripley from Alien 3. And you know what? There's one more gal I want to bring in here. Oh my gosh. Okay. Watch out, Ripley's. Dear God. Ripley from the scene with the power loader. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of Ripleys here. One moment. One moment. Alright, let's zoom out. Alrighty, there they are. So yeah, I pretty much have all the Ripleys from all the movies. And now it's complete. Because before, something was missing. I got Alien, Aliens, Alien 3, and no Resurrection. Come on, NECA, but now they solved my problem. And I have Ripley from Resurrection, or Ripley 8, if you want to call her that. And yeah, you got an army of Ripleys. Got to fight an army of Dutches from the first Predator. You know, if I knew stop motion, that'd be actually kind of a funny video to make. Alrighty, accessories. So, you get a total of 3 minus the hands. You get the 2 assault rifles there. And of course the basketball from the famous, you know, the scene from, I think it's towards the beginning of the film when Ripley meets the crew with Call and Ron Perlman. It's actually, I didn't really expect them to add this, just because, you know, I don't know. I mean, it was definitely a funny scene in the movie, but I didn't expect it to come with the figure, let alone hands to actually hold the basketball. But let's first take a gander at these assault weapons. Here's the first one, and it is actually very, very well done. Let me zoom back a bit, show you it. It is pretty gosh darn cool looking. More detailed than I thought it would be. You have a nice sheen of gunmetal silver, and what's cool is they actually put like little dents and scratches all across the weapon, so it definitely looks used. You do have the silver clip right here, and of course the stock, the grip of the weapon being just a general black color. I don't know what this thing is, but it is silver. And you got the barrel here, which is looking pretty cool. Almost looks like a coil design. Same with the other side here. Pretty cool looking. And the strap, which, I mean, you know, the strap, it's a nice touch. It's kind of annoying because it can't really, she can't really hold it, and with this attached to her shoulder, so it kind of just sits there, which is weird. And the other assault weapon you get is this one right here, which again, it's well done. I like the silver paint, the nice little scratch and dirty marks across it. Got the stock here, or not the stock, the clip. Got the little trigger right there. Almost looks like a part of a clock or something. And here is the rest of the barrel and stuff. So it's well done. It's really cool. Again, the strap kind of just, you know, sits there. Not the biggest deal, but there you go. And let's actually get her to hold it now. So the hands she comes with for the guns, I mean, you get the one trigger finger hand, and you got a hand to hold the underside of the gun. So let us go ahead and mess around with this one here first. It'll take some work to get the actual finger on the trigger. To tell you the truth, I can't really get the finger on the trigger this time. I mean, if you have like a tool, you can kind of bend it over it, but it looks fine. You know, it definitely looks cool. Let's actually get her holding it with this other hand as well. So it looks cool. You know, let's actually try this, because I haven't tried it this way with the strap. VU, that took some fiddling, but I did get the strap around her shoulder, kind of tucks under her hair, and it looks really, really cool. I actually like this. I'll probably leave her like this, or maybe actually with the other weapon. I kind of like the other weapon more. It's more hardcore, just because, you know, Ripley, you know how she is in the films. You gotta destroy everything in her path, so you gotta have this big ass laser gun. But no, it definitely looks good. Again, I can't get the finger on the trigger. I'm gonna need to use like a little tool to bend it on it. But I mean, the strap, it could, I wish it was a little bit longer so that it's easier to manipulate around her body, but it's not too much of a big deal. And now I'm going to cut, because I want to try and do the same with the strap on this weapon. So give me a quick sec. Okay, yeah, she is ready to kick some ass. This is a big ass gun. Yeah, so I got the strap around it. Wasn't actually too difficult with this one. Gosh, she's just, this is probably the biggest assault rifle we've gotten from the from Alien figures. That's just insane looking. That even trumps the flamethrower assault rifle mix she had in Aliens. That's just a big ass gun. Yeah, I'll probably leave her with this one, but I do want to show you how she looks with the basketball, so give me a sec. Oh yeah, I did it. Yeah, her hands can't touch each other when she's in this position, like over her head. This is basically the best possible position I could get her in for doing a slam dunk. Ironically enough, I'll put a picture on the screen. The newborn alien could do the slam dunk better than her, and I'm using the newborn stand as well. But yeah, so no, I will not be leaving her in this pose, but I wanted to show it off anyway because I'm an idiot. And we have reached the end of the review, ladies and gentlemen, and now it's time I answer your question. Do you buy this figure, pass on this figure, or just wait for a sale? It really depends on whether or not you want figures from Resurrection. Now, the newborn alien is one thing that's a really unique figure to own, but obviously this Ripley is, you know, not the best incarnation of the character, so it entirely depends on your liking of the film, or if you're a completionist like me. And if you are, you're probably going to get this figure and ignore this part of the video, right? And with that said, people, go check out the Sanctuary and Trophy Room on Facebook. If you like Alien Predator stuff like me, go visit Trophy Room. And as always, people, have a good morning, evening, midday, whatever, and take care.